So we were poor and we lived in a very dangerous neighborhood as well, couldn't afford to leave. And one night on a Saturday night, we got attacked. It was very intense attacking, and I got shot. My mother got beaten up. It was harrowing, even by Hollywood movie standards. The moment that happened, I decided I was always obsessed with coming to America from the day I was born. I think my dad planted that seed in my mind. I was like, I'm going no matter what it takes. And my circumstances around me, people refer to it as a dead end life. That was my life in South Africa. And for many people, that's their lives. And we got attacked. I remember standing, bleeding, screaming my head off, screaming, saying, I'm leaving, I'm going, and you have to help me leave. I made up my mind there and then I was going to get to North America no matter what. My brother and I came up with a very entrepreneurial venture where we would create costumes, from our crazy costume shop for the burgeoning Hollywood film industry in Canada. Sounds crazy, but this is economics tax. So basically, Hollywood, very expensive to create movies. New York, very expensive to create movies. And so that at that time, they were starting to do a lot more movies in Nova Scotia. And we figured out that there was a trade treaty between certain countries in Canada, and that you could apply to participate in this trade treaty, and you could get funding, and you could build a business. And I'm telling them about this amazing, amazing, venture that they would, of course, want to participate in. And they said yes. They were incredible. That was my first taste of what it meant to be in North America in terms of being an entrepreneur, to see how well organized things are, the opportunities. And no one laughed at me. No one said I was stupid.
You did that at 15.
15. And it was crazy.
Tell me, I know you said you and your mom didn't always get along. What were some of the things you garnered from her?
My ability to never give up. She pushed me extraordinarily hard. I think in some respects, it almost damaged me. I think I would not have made it through. I would not, like, people say, what's it like to build a venture capital firm? I thought it was going to kill me. Like, it was so tough. Like, everything people picture about building one in Silicon Valley where, all the things just being objective are stacked against you. I don't think I would have made it through. I watched guys who had so much more than me just quit. They're like, this is just too tough. I just can't do this. I'm going to get a job. And I was like, I'm going to keep on going because I fundamentally believe in what I'm doing. I think that all came from the fact that I had somebody who had a very tough life and who kept pushing me harder because she knew how tough her life had been. And she wanted me to have the best life possible, even if she had difficulty in helping me create that.
The growth mindset, is that nature or nurture?
Nurture. I took it upon myself to build like a rewards challenge for myself. I've lived and died by these rewards challenges. So it's like mini habits where I'll give myself like a book I really want as a reward. And I'll be like, I'm going to break through on this thing. And for me, that was like, I could see I was fixed in a lot of areas and that I never wanted to be. To do that, I have to change the wiring in my brain. And that was, trust me, it was a really tough thing to do. I went from I can't to I can, because there were a number of times I wanted to give up. A number of times would have just been easier to be like, you know what, I'm going to sit in that corner and I'm just going to like feel sorry for myself. I don't think a lot of people who have been through difficulty have that growth mindset nurtured into them, but I do believe they can nurture it into themselves. Solving someone's problem for them. Like somebody has a problem and I can delight them with a solution. And like every time I message someone on behalf of one of my companies and I'm like, please will you help them? Please will you help them? Please will you help them? And everyone's and like these are like executives of big companies and that people are like, we can't say no to you. We can't say no. Like
That's awesome.
that's my superpower. And I think the other one is maybe pattern recognition. Being a survivor, I learned to recognize patterns very early on, just in terms of survival and in terms of like keeping safe. And I think it's helped me a lot in terms of like making investments and just learning to see where the world is going. But I think pattern recognition too, I think many people comes down to curiosity as well, where you're like curious, hey, what's happening here? And then like making these fun predictions for yourself and practicing making them till eventually they kind of just become like this like game you play with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to hold my head up high. I want to belong somewhere. And the idea that once again I'm being thrown out of the insider club, always the outsider, never the insider. It was ironic because they were basically complimenting me, and they were saying, well, you're very good at what you do. You've developed mastery at what you do. Stick to what you're doing. But it wasn't well received in that community. It's not a country. That's why I wanted to come to America, because in this country, it's noble to be a founder. It's noble that if you fail, you get up, you try again. No one will judge you. It's a very, very special country. Like, I think you have to grow up elsewhere. And Americans are like, but we're going through so many problems. And I'm like, you have to grow up elsewhere. If I could run for president, I'd run for president just because I want to protect the country.
I think it would be an honor to have someone of your character run for president. I understand there are laws that would prevent that, but...
If you enjoy this podcast, please make sure to subscribe. And to stay updated on everything that the Action Catalyst is up to, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Action Catalyst Podcast and on Twitter at Catalyst_Action. And thanks for listening.